Well, it's first day of February and I'm going to cut a tree down. I don't want to discuss the reasons why this tree is coming down right now. I've mentioned it in other videos. But just a little bit about the use of the saw and how to use it most efficiently, how to dismantle the tree most efficiently, and some points on safety. I've cut myself more times than I should have done. First, point number one, the tools that you need to use must be sharp. This is a Silky Fox Gomtaro Apple saw, 300mm. This is the only saw we use. We buy new blades, and I reckon I wear a blade out once a year, which, given I've got about 800 trees, that's quite a long life really. This particular saw, characteristics are, it's got a very, very thin blade, and the actual teeth are in line. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera, but with a lot of saws the teeth splay out a little bit either side. The teeth are totally in line on this saw, which combined with the extremely thin nature of the blade, it gives you an incredibly good cut. This sort of thing. I'm just going to show you a few, just a few basic cuts. Bearing in mind I'm dismantling this tree. You see that this apparently it's inspired. These are made in Japan, and they're very expensive. But they're inspired to some extent by the Japanese samurai swords, as it were. Right, just come on a little bit closer. Now there's a danger with these saws. They're very good, and basically I've got a lot of trees. I can buy a new saw when this saw runs out, but I can't get a new wrist. Okay, so I don't want to get arthritis at a quicker rate than I need to. If you only got 2 or 3 trees, then a cheap saw will do. These cost about £45 English money. You get a new blade, you get a nice holster with them. One thing is, you need to be careful as you put them away, because if you're not careful you can end up sawing the holster to bits, and I've got a little sawdust in my holster. There's a danger with these saws. Now the thin blade, the first danger, number one, is the danger of cutting yourself. Note I'm wearing these gloves, okay? If you look at this glove, you'll notice that there's some blood on it. And if you look at this finger, you'll notice that there's a healing cut on that finger. And I'll show you how that happened, and that was last week. If you can just close in, I was, for the sake of argument, I was moving forward. The danger is when you're moving forward. And what actually happened was I was moving forward, doing a bit of cutting, working a bit too quick, and the saw stopped. If you just home down on my finger, Julia, you can see what happened. I wasn't holding it really tight, and my finger slipped forward and cut just like that. Okay, you can see that's where the injury happened. I was moving forward and I wasn't gripping firmly enough. So that's a point of danger. With these saws you cut on the back stroke. You don't cut on the forward stroke at all. So the forward stroke is just to position it. And you need to be careful when you're making the forward stroke. That's when you're likely to have an accident. And also you can snap the blades of these off, particularly when you're in a cut. Now I just want to show you how to make a cut with one of these saws. Holding it reasonably firmly, pull it back straight. And you can see I'm just wiggling that up and down a little bit. Okay, that just goes straight through. Now you notice that when these go through, they go straight through. So you need to be careful. If you're, let's say I'm cutting through here, right? Now can you see what's happening? This is an accident waiting to happen. This is an accident waiting to happen, but it's not going to happen. I'm trying to move my hand. Do you see that? Do you see what just happened? You see where this saw blade, you see where that blade is now? It's gone through here and it has sunk into this wood here. So you've got to be careful. When you're going using one of these saws, when you're finishing the cut, they go clean through. Anyway, just a few more demonstrations. If you come and look at this as well, I've dealt with this on a previous video. Now this tree's being dismantled, it's going to go for firewood. This doesn't matter. But if you can see what's happened here, I was cutting through from above, and I wasn't supporting this branch, and what's happened is it's fallen through and made a slice there. You see, which is not good. You don't want that to happen. Now you can prevent that happening by making an undercut, which I've demonstrated in another video. You make an underneath cut first, and then you line up carefully and you go down so the cut. Oh, did you see that, by the way? And you see what's happening there? This is a little bit stuck, and this is when you can break these saws. You won't break it so easily with a thicker, cheaper saw, but then they don't cut so well. But anyway, the saw blade is stuck there. You could break it on the forward stroke. You can see that's quite stuck, but that's not a problem, because I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure there and open it up, okay? Nice and easy. And I'm also holding this upper piece, so you can see I've got some control over it. When you're going through a thick piece of wood, again, seesaw a little bit. Seesaw, when you're coming up to the moment of cutting through, just hold on to this. Just come through it again. You see that sawn through. And anyway, these are the. I'm getting a bit old now, and I've got reasonably good money. So back home, I've got a Fender Stratocaster. I've got a Gibson Les Paul. I've got a Fender Tube amp. I use Parker pens because I can afford to use the best gear I can get, and this is a Silky Fox Gomtaro Apple, and this is the best Apple saw in the world, so why would I bother to use any other? But it's as sharp as quack, and that's the wound where I cut myself last week, so just be careful. Thanks, Julia.